This week in sports, we got a lot to talk about. Let's talk about it. So, we're going to start with what's on the thumbnail, the Cleveland Browns situation, and then we're going to run through all the topics. So, the Cleveland Browns situation, Deshaun Watson and our guy Shedeur Sanders. So, my whole thing about this is if he can't beat out if Shedeur Sanders can't beat out Deshaun Watson, we have a bigger problem on our hands, and I guess he's not as good as we thought he was going to be, right? So I say that because since Deshaun Watson got to Cleveland, there has been like one, no continuity, and two, it's just been BS after BS. And it's the call for what it is. Deshaun Watson has not played well since that game against the Chiefs. Ever since that game, he has not played well. It's like they took his powers or something, right? So, I don't know how much you gain by starting Deshaun Watson. And he goes on and B's good. I'm sure he can be decent. But as far as like a long-term plan, I don't know how great that will be for you as an organization. Todd Monken, he comes from the Baltimore tree. He wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders. If he had drafted Shedeur Sanders, there's a possibility that Baltimore makes the playoffs, and that terrorist is still in Baltimore. Now he got something else to deal with his quarterback, but we'll talk about that a little later. So I just think it doesn't serve you well to start Deshaun Watson, regardless of if he played well or not in preseason. If he just has I forgot his name, the guy that Russell Wilson took his spot. If he has one of those types of preseasons, then yeah, you have to make the decision. But I don't know what much you gain with Deshaun Watson being a starter. And even the person that made the report for Deshaun Watson or for Cleveland, I did more looking into it, and he or she is not a very reputable source. So I guess we could take that with a grain of salt. Take that report with a grain of salt, but just like we'll see in the preseason. As my phone started doing crazy stuff. We'll see in the preseason if he can get it done. I think they should just slant. I think they know Shedeur is going to be their starter all along, and they should know Shedeur is going to be their starter all along, just for the very reason that he's the future. As much as they may want Deshaun Watson to start, I just don't think Deshaun is worth it at this point. The fans don't like him. He came there. They paid him all the money. He never even gave them a little bit of what they want. And I think it just makes sense to go with a clean slate. Let Shedeur think he's fighting for the job. Let him win the job, quote unquote, and then release Deshaun Watson. Or you might not even be able to release him because he's so deep on the book. So I don't know. I just feel like this shouldn't be a topic. Shedeur Sanders dealt with a lot last year, and for him to come in camp as fighting for the job, I don't know. It just seems a little weird to me. But I expect Tom Monken to make the right decision, and we're gonna have to deal with that. And so I said we're gonna deal with the BS later. So as I said, Todd Monken came from the Baltimore tree, and if Shedeur Sanders would have got drafted to Baltimore, they probably John Harbaugh probably would lose his job, and he wouldn't have to deal with the fool and Jackson Dart that's at MAGA rallies. So I'm gonna make this short and sweet. I don't understand. I don't understand. Why would he do that? And like the two Americas, the dichotomy of both that, what is his name? I have the tweet here. I can find it real quick. Abdul Carter, he put on Twitter, thought this shit was AI. What are we doing? He's getting more backlash from that tweet than Jackson Dart is sitting with an idiot. And you're supposed to be the leader of the team and all this, but you going to Trump rallies? You kicking off an idiot fest? Like, I I don't agree with that. And it's just, we just live in two Americas. Because what if Lamar Jackson would go to a mosque? What if, hell, Shedeur Sanders, Deion, go to a mosque? They might get expelled from the league. What if you saw Lamar Jackson hanging with Farrakhan? We wouldn't just be like, oh, difference of opinion. Well, white America wouldn't. Big America wouldn't. We shouldn't accept this. We can't accept something and then be so out of bounds with the other one. The NFL's not going to say anything. The NFL is not going to make a statement. They're not gonna condemn this or nothing. They're just gonna act like they didn't see Jackson Dart be this idiot. But Abdul Carter saying, "Oh, it's this AI," it's gonna get more press than Jackson Dart going to a Trump rally. I said it in my other video because I recorded this already, but the audio was weird, so I might throw some of that in here. But I wanted to record a full video again. I said in that video that we live in two Americas. We live in two Americas where a white guy can do the same thing, but let it be a brother and they do the same thing. It's completely different. Colin Kaepernick was blackballed out the league for kneeling. For kneeling. This same Cheeto called Kaepernick an idiot. Or something along those lines. Right? The Dallas Cowboys owner said, "If you kneel, I'm cutting you." Jerry Jones never said he would cut anybody, but he did have a stern, no tolerance policy for kneeling. I just wanted to clear that up because I feel like that was misinformation. He did have a stern, no tolerance policy for the kneeling. But Jackson Dart can go do this. It's ridiculous, but it's to America, so it is what it is. I'm not surprised by it. I just don't understand why would you align yourself with somebody like that when you're supposed to be leading a room full of men, full of black, Hispanic, and all the other cultures of men, and you believe in that. How the men gonna fight for you? It's just, I just don't understand. And like I said, all Abdul Carter said was, "Dang, is this AI?" And he got more heat from it. So I just don't understand. I don't understand. So, what are we gonna do next? We're going to do Henry Ruggs. Here's what he did. Was in prison, fatal drunk driving crash in November of 2021, killing a 23-year-old woman and her animal. He was going, I thought it was over 130. They're saying he was going over 156 miles per hour. Blood level was more than twice the legal limit. And so he's been in jail ever since then, right? Talking to my friend on Facebook, and this is why I didn't apply to his when he posted it, commenting back. I was gonna make a full video of it because just on Facebook you can't get the 100 characters or anything you need, right? So the thing, if I'm an NFL owner, can you trust them to not make this mistake again? Can you trust them to not do this again? Can you trust them? That's a big thing. Drunk driving accident, going 156 miles per hour. It makes you untrustworthy. Now, there are guys that done their time. I'm not above that. I've worked with guys, they done their time, the system, and then they got out of jail and did what they needed to do. And they've been straight citizens ever since, right? But sometimes it's a difference between being a teenager or a young adult and struggling and doing something and then getting caught up in the system, whether it's being a millionaire and then doing something stupid. So if I'm an NFL owner, I don't know if I can necessarily trust them. And that's my whole big thing on Ruggs. Those people that he killed can't come back and start their regular lives. And regardless of how you did it, you did it. It ain't like you accidentally did it. Not saying that he like went out of his way to take these people's lives, but 2 times above the legal level, and you got behind the wheel. It's just like you put that to the side. It's hard for me to bring this guy in my building because I just don't know if I can trust him. He's done that once. I don't know if he's going to do that again. You know what I mean? It's hard for me personally. It's hard for me to give a guy like that another chance. And it's like, well, everybody messed up. You got to give him one more chance. I couldn't be the organization to give him another chance. Ironically enough, the organizations he left probably need him the most. Now, I'm not going to be mad that somebody gave him another chance. I just couldn't do it because I can't trust you. You got to earn that trust. You got to earn that trust back. And maybe you go to the UFL. You can go to, this is me like being completely contradictory. If you want to go to the Battlehawks, you'll be the best receiver in the league if you go to the Battlehawks. But in all seriousness, you got to rebuild your reputation. I need to see years of you not being terrible. I know one mistake can change your life, and we shouldn't judge a man on one mistake. But that one mistake took lives. And I just have a hard time giving a guy like that another chance who took lives. So that's what I think. That's really what I think. And so we got another topic. Rookie mini camps playbook, Chase Daniels. So Chase Daniels, if I can find a video without all the the Instagram stuff, and I'll show you guys.
So I just want to take a quick peek right here because this is just the run game, okay, for one install. This is one practice that they have to learn. And this is the pass game, okay, which is absolutely crazy. Not a lot of people talk about the language, the terminology, everything like that. But I want to read a play to you right now. And I want you, and we're going to talk about, I want you to try to stay with me, okay? Hey, guys, all right, listen up. Gun, bunch right, jab, 15, stutter, kill, 84, Z, cowboy, wash out, cross, on yellow, ready. What did you just say? Gun, king, bunch right, jab, 15, stutter, F, kill, 84, Z, cowboy, Y, shallow, cross. Okay, so that's a run right here to a pass. Jab 15 stutter, F means it's a weak side counter play with the F receiver or F tight end coming out and kicking out.
Chase Daniels, and I think he posts this video every time this year. He had a real thick, his rookie mini camp playbook from when he was with the New Orleans Saints. And this playbook is so thick. It is crazy. He called a play, and the play had the protections in it, and the protections of this, and he had a check to here, and if you check there, blah, 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 just all of this madness, right? And I just want to say, we give players crap about it, about stuff, but there has to be a level of respect there, Stephen A. There has to be a level of respect there on both ends of this, right? I played 4 years of high school ball. I never pursued college football because that's just not where my heart was, right? It's what these guys are doing at the 1% level is almost unfathomable, right? So we have to give these guys the credit and approach these types of things with the level of respect that we would want somebody to approach our professions with. And every time a player talks about that stuff or shows stuff like that, or when Bryce Young had the thing on his helmet and he snapped and went to the line and was looking around and you couldn't even tell who was open, and you just kind of guess. So it's like crazy. It was absolutely crazy. Like, much respect to all the quarterbacks and any of the receivers. And I was an offensive lineman for 4 years, and I barely knew the protection. All I needed was one line, and I couldn't get it. I couldn't imagine getting a playbook this thick. Playbook super duper thick, and you got to learn all that in a month, 4 months. Why trying to make the team? That's insane to me. That's absolutely insane to me. So I just wanted to give a big shout out to all the 1% players. It takes dedication to learn that type of thing. So with the last two, with the last two, the college football boycott, the NAACP thing. I actually did a great breakdown of this in my prior video that I'm going to post. That I'm going to post in the middle of here because I can't recreate that. So I'm going to put that right here. I'm sorry for the sound, but it really encapsulated everything I was trying to say. College football NCAA boycott. So, like I said, the theme it's football and it's a lot of other stuff in this video. But so the biggest thing is some politicky thing happened in the South. I think it's the lining of the way the districts are made to where they passed a law to where they can redo the districts. And you know how bad these slime balls are. They're going to like rewrite the districts. So it's really hard for black folks to vote if you're into that type of thing. Don't even start it on that. And so with that being said, and with the crookedness that's going on in the South, the NCAAP is urging these players not to go to college, not to go to big time universities in the South to make a statement, right? Which that is commendable. I'm not saying don't boycott with your dollar or your talent or anything you do, right? You got to give these kids an alternative. You can't just say, and that's to be my problem with some boycotts, right? You can be like, boycott, boycott, boycott. Where's my alternative? Make my alternative more accessible to where I'm not tripping off if I don't gotta go to Walmart or if I gotta go to Target or if Target is the only thing in my little small town that's 15 miles away, maybe not 15 miles, but if Target is the only thing that's in walking distance and I gotta take a bus 2 hours to get to anywhere else, I'm gonna go to Target because it's the easiest thing to get to, right? So if we want these players, first of all, we should be holding pro athletes more accountable than the kids. We should be holding these pro athletes more accountable. These pro athletes should be funding HBCUs so the HBCUs can have the money and the funding and the infrastructure to harbor these great guys. They'll never get a Travis Hunter again. They'll never get a Shedeur Sanders again if they don't fix their infrastructure. So to me, it's not the kids should not take them because they paying these guys life-changing money. These guys are coming from and I'm not trying to be stereotypical, but these guys are coming from the slums. These guys, the only way out sometimes is football. And if you tell them like have a backup plan, they're like, football is my backup plan. We can address that in another video. But this here, if you're gonna tell kids to not go to, and I don't think they should go to LSU for another reason because of everything that happened with that kid and not telling them what was going on with him. That's a different story. But you're telling kids not to go to Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama. You're telling them not to go down there. But when you was 19, and if they'd have gave you a $2 million NIL deal to come down there and play football, if they give you $2 million and your mama lights off, and they say all you gotta do is come down here and play football for 3 years, you get the NFL and change your people's life. All you gotta do is come down here and play football for 4 years, you get a degree and you can parlay that into something else. When you was 19, you gonna say, hell yeah, I'm going to do it. That's what they talking about. I'm finna go get that cheddar. My mama finna be driving a nice car. We finna get her out of the slums. We not finna be hungry no more. And I'm not saying every kid is from that, right? I'm not saying every kid is from that. Hell, you get a kid from Chesterfield and you tell them, I'm going to give you your own money to do what you want to do. All you got to do is do what you've been doing the last 8 years and playing football. And we're going to pay you when you get to the NFL. Any 19, 20, 21-year-old, 22-year-old is going to take that unless they have another option. And the other option is HBCUs. But these HBCUs are not funded correctly. We have too many millionaires to not be funding our HBCUs properly. And I think that's where the energy needs to go when it comes to this topic. You can't tell kids not to take life-changing money and be like, okay, what I'm gonna do next? Well, you're standing up for the culture. The culture not gonna pay my mama bills. I'm sorry. Right? So it's like, we need to build infrastructure for these babies. And not force them, but make that look obtainable. I didn't watch A Different World. I didn't watch that show. But I've heard a lot of people watch this A Different World and was like, man, I want to go to HBUs. It's cool and da-da-da-da, right? They made it look cool. And it made little kids dream to go there. There's a thread somewhere online where on Martin that he's wearing all the black college shirts in all his episodes. You make it more attainable to want to go to these places. You get Travis Hunters and Shador Sanders to want to go to these places. And now it ups the value of these places to make these places look more obtainable to people that should be going there anyway. That should be the topic. Not, you kids shouldn't go here because the government is crooked. We know the government is crooked. That's already something that we already know. But let's make these HBCUs undeniable. If we make these HBCUs undeniable, then you can be like, why are you going to LSU? Morehouse is fire. Morehouse got $500K for you. It's not $1 million. It's not $1 million. You still got to take a little pay loss for Morehouse who gives you this. You know what I mean? If you give the kids a healthy alternative, every kid not gonna take it. Shout out to Medium Man. Double M. I always forget his first name. He goes by the rule of 10.
The rule of 10. Let's just say that much. And I've mentioned this multiple times on my platform. The rule of 10. 3 people are for, 3 people are against, and 4 people are undecided.
I think now I'm gonna butcher this. I'm gonna butcher this saying, but he say it all the time in his videos. 4 people for it, 4 people against it, 2 people undecided, right? So you could make HBCUs like Alabama, and all black folks not gonna go. But as long as you get some top guys, like I was talking to my stepfather about this the other day in regards to the Battlehawks. The Battlehawks need to go get a quarterback. These quarterbacks that they're getting are not very good, but if you get some guys that are just out of college or just they're not good enough to be in the NFL, but they would be great in your league. Get some practice squad guys, some third team guys, some second, like Andy Dalton type guys again, right? So that's really all I have to say about the boycott. I just don't think it makes sense to go after the kids and force them to make life altering decisions when they're just trying to get into their career. Next topic, Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers, I think he was going to retire this year if it wasn't for Mike McDonald coming back to coach him. And so this is last season. He said in his press conference, this is last season. Aaron Rodgers left so much meat on the bone in his career. There's no reason Aaron Rodgers shouldn't have made 3-4 Super Bowls. Like there were times he should have made more than 1 Super Bowl. And it goes back another crooked politician and using lightly. He's definitely crooked. Brett Favre. Brett Favre let a lot of meat on his bone as well. 1 Super Bowl with that Green Bay team that you had. So shout out to Aaron Rodgers. Until Patrick Mahomes played, he was the greatest thrower of the ball ever. He had the whole package. I remember my greatest Aaron Rodgers moment is when he had one leg. He literally beat a team in the playoffs with 1 leg. It was crazy. He was walking to the huddle limping, snapping the ball, darting it down the field. It was crazy. One of the best individual performances I've probably ever seen, right? And so, shout out to Aaron Rodgers. And I'm speaking about it because I don't think they're going to do anything this season. So this is like pretty much it. And so the last topic of this video is Kyle Busch. Rest in peace, Kyle Busch. So NASCAR's on Fox. And so whenever the football games go off when I was younger, NASCAR would come on. We watch that 5-10 minutes and then go on about our business, right? Kyle Busch was always on the marquee. He was always on the docket. He was always the first one they showed. And he was just everywhere. He was the household name of NASCAR. Like, shout out to people to plug from Numbers on the Board. He put a great tweet that encapsulated basically what everybody probably thought of him. You know how great somebody is that you don't even watch their sport, but you know who they are, and you are astonished that they died. Like, I saw that, I was like, what? Kyle Busch? I knew exactly who it was because growing up, I seen his face everywhere, always on ESPN. And it's just insane to see somebody pass so young. I think he was only 42. Super duper young, man. Just rest in peace. Rest in peace, Kyle Busch. And that's really all I got for you guys. So if you like it, like, subscribe. I will see you guys next week. Peace.